Assalamualaikum, welcome to Nasir Solve. This is the web developing with PHP and MySQL tutorial series, and in this video we will talk about the object oriented PHP. The outlines of this tutorial are: first, we will understand the difference between the procedural programming and the object-oriented programming, concept of classes and object, and how we can create the classes and their object in PHP. We will declare the PHP constructor and destructor, the access modifiers, inheritance concept in object-oriented programming, and how we can achieve the inheritance in PHP, constant, PHP abstract class, the abstract class concept in object-oriented programming, and how to create an abstract class in PHP, the PHP traits, static method, and the static properties. So this is very important lecture to learn about the object-oriented programming in PHP. So be consistent following me. What is the difference between the procedure programming and the object-oriented programming? Both are programming languages that use high-level programming to solve a problem but using different approaches. In technically these are called that these different programming paradigms. So it means that to solve a problem may have more than one solution. So for example, if we want to add two numbers and then show the result to the user as the sum of two numbers, then we have more than one approach or paradigms. The first approach is if we declare the two variable. For example, the first variable is a and its value is 10, and the second variable is b and its value is 20, sorry, and we declare a third variable that is c, and to add both variable a and b, and the result will store in the variable c, and we echo that variable c. So this is one approach to solve this problem of adding two numbers. We can also solve this problem to the different approach. And the second approach is, first we declare the two variable similar as first approach, that is a and variable b, and on both variable we store its value, and then we declare a function, for example add, and pass the both variable as a parameter, and inside the function we declare a third variable, and based on both parameters we add the both parameter, that is a and b, to the variable c. We return the variable c and show it to the user. As you see that the problem is very simple, but we have more than one approach to solve this problem. So the both procedure programming and the object-oriented programming use the high-level programming to solve a problem, but using different approaches, as you understand through this example. Object-oriented programming and procedure programming are such high-level programming paradigms that use different approaches to create a program to solve a particular problem in the less time possible. A program is nothing but a set of step-by-step instructions that only a computer can understand so that it can come up with a solution. There are different approaches to do that, which is technically termed or referred to as programming paradigms. So if we talk about the procedure programming, it can be defined as a programming model which is derived from structured programming based upon the concept of calling procedure. In procedure programming, the procedures, also known as routines, subroutines, or functions, simply consist of a series of computational steps to be carried out. During a program's execution, any given procedure might be called at any point, including by other procedures or itself. And the languages that using the procedure programming are the Fortran, Algol, COBOL, BASIC, Pascal, and C. Object-oriented programming. It can be defined as a programming model which is based upon the concept of objects. Objects contain data in the form of attributes and code in the form of methods. In object-oriented programming, computer programs are designed using the concept of objects that interact with the real world. The object-oriented programming languages are various, but the most popular ones are class-based, meaning that objects are instances of a class, which also determine their types. We will understand about the class and object later of this tutorial. And the languages that use object-oriented programming are the Java, C++, C Sharp, Python, PHP, JavaScript, Ruby, Perl, Objective-C, Dart, Swift, Scala. And here you will see the more difference between the object-oriented programming and procedure programming. The OOP takes a bottom-up approach in designing a program, where the procedure programming follows a top-down approach. Okay, and you will read all these other points. Now we will move to the next topic, that is class and objects in object-oriented programming. A class is a template for objects, and the object is an instance of a class. To understand about the classes and objects in object-oriented programming, let's consider this example. We have a class that name is fruit, and each class contains different properties. For example, the class fruit have the name, okay, the name of the fruit, the color of the fruit, the weight of the fruit. And as we use the PHP as a programming language, so therefore we declare the variable name, color and weight to hold the value of these properties. So this is the class fruit. And if we want to declare its object, then each object contains these properties but may have different values. For example, if we create an object of that class fruit, the first object is apple. So basically the apple object now contains the name, that is inside the name, that is apple, the color, the red, and the weight is, for example, 10 gram. And we also declare another object of the class fruit, and the object is banana. So for this case, the name of the object is banana, the color is yellow, and its weight is, for example, 11 gram. And similarly, we again create another object, that is third object of the class fruit, and the object is mango. So in this case, the object name is mango, its colors is yellow, and its weight is 20 gram. So the object are the instance of the class. For example, we have another class, the class name is car, and its properties are name, color, and price that holds the value of the property. If we create an object of the class car, so the first object we create, that is Volvo. It means that the company name is Volvo, inside its color is blue, and its price is 2 lakh, for example. And another object is Audi of the class car, and the third object is Toyota. A class is an entity that determines how an object will behave, and the object will contain, in other words, it's a blueprint or set of instructions to build a specific type of object. An object is nothing but a self-contained component which consists of methods and properties to make a particular type of data useful. Objects determine the behavior of a class. From a programming point of view, an object can be a data structure, a variable, or a function. It has a memory location allocation. In PHP, class is defined with class keyword followed by the name of the class and a pair of curly braces. All its properties and method goes inside the braces. In PHP, to create a class is very simple. Just write the class keyword and after that name the class. For example, here the fruit class is created, and inside its body we can write its properties, methods, and can do everything with that class. Object in PHP. Classes are nothing without objects. We can create multiple objects from a class. Each object has all the properties and method defined in the class, but they will behave like different property values. Objects of a class is created using the new keyword. For example, we have a class fruit, and now we want to create an object of the class fruit. So the new keyword is used. For example, here we create an object that name is apple of the class fruit, and we create an object that name is banana of the class fruit. Okay, so here we create two objects of the class fruit with the new word. So let's see it practically. I am using the Sublime as an editor. You can use any other editor. of your own choice. Create a new file of PHP and save this file in my localhost htdocs and name it simple simple underscore class dot php, and the file is of PHP extension. Okay, I save the file. Here you see that inside my local host the new file, that is simple underscore class dot php, is created. So first I write the PHP tags here, end to end the tags. So first I create the class with the class keyword and then the name. For example, I create the class that is fruit, that name is fruit. Okay, and inside its body there is curly braces. The class first property is public. It means that it can be accessed throughout the class. I will describe later what is the difference between public, private or protected, but here just understand the concept of public, that it can be accessed throughout the class. And the name of the property is, for example, name. Okay, and the class fruit have a function, and the function is also public, and the function name is the function keyword, and the function name is, for example, set underscore name. Okay, the function parenthesis and the function body. The function have a parameter. The parameter is set name, set. Okay, for example, the parameter is set, and inside the function just set the value of the name property to this parameter. Okay, so we can write this one, this, it means that current object name, this dot name, set the current object name variable parameter name whatever the set contain. Okay, this one, and semicolon. You will understand that how to create a class and its property and methods. Now we are going to create an object of the class. So this is the end of the class body. After the class body, here I create an object and name it, for example, apple. After the equal sign with the new keyword, we want to create an object of the fruit class, and the class is fruit. So basically here I write the class name, that is fruit, and parenthesis. So here we create an object of the class fruit. This object specimen or copy of the class fruit. So here through this object I can access this method, that is set name. Basically it is public. So it's mean that through the object apple we can access the method that is set underscore name. If I call the method with that object and pass one parameter, basically as this function assume one parameter, so here I pass the value to 12. Okay, and inside the function set name I just echo the value of the name variable that is set. Okay, so here I write the echo and the name, that is this dot the name variable. Okay, so if I save the file and execute this, then you will see that first we create an object of the class fruit, and then through this object we call the set name method and pass a value that is 12 as a parameter, and set the name variable to that value, that is 12, and we just echo the name. Okay, so the output will be 12. So let's run this program. So here I run the program, that is inside my htdocs, so localhost, and then the file name, that is simpleclass.php. If I execute it, you will see that the output is 12. In object oriented programming, a constructor allows you to initialize an object's properties upon creating of the object. In PHP, the underscore construct function is used for constructor. Construct functions is called automatically on creating the object. It means that when we create an object of the class, then the constructor functions call automatically. So it is used to initialize the properties of an object. Let's see it practically. This is our previous example. We just created a class that is fruit, and then we create an object of the class apple. Okay, and then we call that method that is set name through that object. Okay, so for example here the class have a construct function, the function, and to initialize the constructor or define the constructor, the underscore word is used, construct. Okay, and its parentheses, the constructor may have more than one parameters or zero parameters, okay, or one parameter. So these are called the parameter constructors. For my, in this case, I just call initialize a construct. In this scenario, I define a constructor with zero parameter, okay, and inside the constructor I just show a message that is, for example, this is constructor, okay, and here you see that if I delete this line, okay, I okay, so when we create an object of the class fruit, or when this line execute, then you will see that automatically the programming flow goes to the construct function and execute all the line or all the constructor. Okay, so it means that the construct method invoke automatically on creating an object of the class. Okay, so if I save the file and execute that PHP file, then you will see that what will be the output. The output will be this is constructor. So basically when we create an object of the class fruit, then it automatically execute the construct method. So if I execute this file, then you will see that the output is this is constructor. So on creating the object of the class, the construct or constructor will call automatically. So the purpose of the constructor is to initialize the properties of an object. We can do anything inside the constructor. For example, on creating an object to initialize the value of different properties. In our previous example, for example, we can do the name, the color, and other variable initialize its value. Okay, inside the constructor. So this is very simple. When we create an object of the class, the constructor will call automatically. So that's it, the purpose of the constructor. So what about the parameter constructor? For example, we can pass here uh, inside a construct uh, parenthesis of first one parameter, okay, and the parameter name is, for example, the var, okay, and inside this one here the property is name, so I just initialize the name property to a value based on the parameter. Okay, so whatever the construct have the parameter value, then initialize the name with that value. So here if I execute this program, there will it will show me the error. So basically in this scenario the constructor must have one parameter. So on creating an object, we should call the parameter inside the this parenthesis on creating the object of the class fruit. So here I pass, for example, inside Nasir, inside this commas Nasir and solve. So if I echo inside the constructor here the value of the name, then you will see that, so first on the base of the on this parameter, it will initialize the value of name to the this parameter value, and then we show that value. So if I execute this program, then you will see that the output will be Nasir solved. So basically, when we call the object of the class with parameter, and the parameter should have been accepted to the constructor as well, then it will call the constructor automatically and do all the things or code that we want inside the constructor. So this is called the parameter constructor. So hope you will understand the purpose of constructor and the how constructor works. Destructor. A destructor is called when the object is destructed or the script is stopped or exit. In PHP, the double underscore destruct function is used and it will call automatically at the end of the script. So in simple words, we can say that the constructor is called when the object is created and the destructor is called when object is destroyed or our script is end. So let's see destructor practically. So to understand about the destructor, let's understand this example. We have a class fruit and inside fruit we have a property that is name and the construct that to initialize the value of the name. And we have a function or method that is show and inside the show I just echo a few lines that is this is show function. Okay, so out of the class body when I create the object apple of the class fruit, okay, so basically I pass a one parameter, so therefore the it is because the constructor has the one parameter. So here when we this line execute, then the constructor method invoke and the name value or property is initialized with that value, that is Nasir. Okay, so what about the purpose of destructor? So as I said, the destructor will call when the execution is end. So here if I write the destructor function with the destruct function and the keyword is underscore underscore destruct, it's parenthesis and the destructor body. Inside the destructor I can do anything on destroying the object. Okay, so the destruct function will call when the object is destroyed or the end of the execution occur. So for example here I echo that this is the end of the script and the destructor call automatically. So here if I save the file, then you will see that on creating the object the constructor will call and inside the constructor we show the value of the name. In this scenario the value is Nasir Soft. So the first output will be the Nasir Soft. After that here if I call this method that is show through the object apple and to call the show method, and here you see that then the method show will call and this line will execute. This is show function and here I just write the next line. And after that when this execution or programming flow will complete, then you will see that the destruct function will call automatically at the end of the script. This line will execute, that is this is the end of the script, this message will show. Okay, so this is very simple. Whenever our execution ended, then the destruct function will call automatically if it occur. So if I save the file and go to the browser and refresh the link, then you will see that the first when create an object the Nasir Soft is showing as I echo the value of the name, then the show method will execute it and at the end of the script the destruct executed automatically. I not call it through the object. Okay, this will call automatically. So we can do anything, any other operation in destructor at the end of this script. For example, to release some values to the parameters and so on. So hope you will understand. So in destruct method we can do any operation that we want at the end of the script. So this is very simple. Let's move to the next topic. PHP access modifiers. Public, private and protected are called access modifiers. The properties and method can have access modifiers which control where they can be accessed. It means that the access modifiers define the scope of the properties and methods. If we define the property or method public, then it can be accessed from everywhere. This is the default. It means that if you not define the property or method, but just write the function and then the function name or the property name, then this is by default type is public. Private. The property or methods can only be accessed within the class. So if we define the property or method with the private keyword, then it can only be accessed within the class. Protected. If we define the property or method protected, then it can be accessed within the class and by classes derived from the class. It means that the property or method which is defined protected can be accessed within the class and the all other classes that derive that class. This is the concept of inheritance. We will see it in more detail later. So to understand about the access modifiers in PHP, let's see this example. We have a class that name is fruit and it have the three different properties with access modifiers. For example, the public is name1. Okay, we define the name variable with the public, we define the color variable with the protected and the weight with the private. So if we create the object of that class with the new keyword that is mango, and if I access the through the object of the class that is mango to the name property, then you will see that we can access the public property anywhere. So therefore, outside the class scope, when we create the object of that class, we can access its public property. So therefore, this program works successfully. And here we name mango to the name property of that class object that is mango. So this program will work. So the public property or method can be accessed from everywhere. So if we want to access the color property, okay, that is protected through this object that is mango and name it yellow, then you will see that it shows me the error. So the protected method or property can only be accessed within the class and all the classes that drive that class, that is derived from that class. So this program give me the error. So we cannot access the protected property or methods outside the class. So the protected property or method can be accessed within the class and by the classes derived from that class. If we access the private property that is weight to the object of the class that is mango and name it for example 10G, then this program also show me the error. So the private property or method can only be accessed within the class, not outside the class. So hope you will understand. Let's move to the next topic. Inheritance. Inheritance means parent-child relationship. When a class derives from another class, this concept is called inheritance. The child class will inherit all the public and protected properties and methods from the parent class. In addition, it can have its own properties and methods. In PHP, inherited class is defined by extend words. So let's see it practically. Class fruit, and in fruit class we have three properties. First is name, that is public, the color, that is protected, the weight, that is private. And we have three different functions in the fruit class or methods. Okay, the first function or method is public and its name is fruit underscore pub underscore function, just meaningful name. And inside this function I just echo the meaningful message that I am the public function of the fruit class. Similarly, we have another function that is protected and its name is fruit underscore pro underscore function. Okay, and inside this one I just echo a meaningful message that I am the protected function of the fruit class. And similarly, we have the private function, its name is this one, that is fruit underscore private underscore func. And inside this one we have an message that is I am private function of the fruit class. This is just for the understanding. So here outside the class body, I write another class or create another class with the class keyword. Sorry, here class, and the class name is something meaningful, that is sub underscore fruit class. It means that it is the subclass of the fruit class, just for the meaningful naming conversation. The class name is sub underscore fruit, and it is the child class of the class fruit. So to make it the child class, just write the word that is extends, and the parent class, that is fruit. It means that, and its body. It means that the sub fruit is the child class of the fruit class, or the fruit is the parent class and the sub fruit is the child class. Okay, so inside this class body, I write its own method, that is public function, and the function name, that is meaningful, something like sub fruit func. Okay, its parentheses and the function body, and inside the function I show the message that I am the sub I am the function of the sub fruit class. Okay, and the function is basically a public one, so I am the public function. Here I write this one. Okay, so hope you will understand. Outside of this class now, here I create an object of the sub fruit, and the object name is sub fruit underscore object, and basically it is the object of the class subfruit. So here I write the name of the subfruit. Okay, so now recall the concept that we can access from the subclass only the public and the protected function of the parent class. So it means that from the subclass have the access of only the public and the protected method or functions or properties of the parent class. So here from the object of the subclass, that is this one, I can call the parent class, that is fruit class, fruit public and protected. Let's see, if first I call the public function of the parent class from the child object, class object. Okay, so here if I call this one, okay, so I can call my own public methods of the child class or the parent class public or protected functions or method or properties. So here from the child class object, I call the public function of the parent class. Okay, so here if I save the file and run the program, here you see that the program works successfully and it shows me the message that I am the public function of the fruit class. So here if I call from the object of the subclass, okay, to this function, that is parent class protected function. So here you see that it shows me the error. If I go to the browser and refresh the link, then it shows me the fatal error. So it means that we have access the protected methods or properties from the subclass but not outside the class. Okay, from out we can access only public methods or properties from outside the class. Okay, so we can access the public functions, methods or properties inside the class or subclass. Okay, so it means that we can access the protected functions of the parent class from the subclass, okay, or within the subclass. So this is very simple. If I delete this line, okay, and go to here inside the class function, that is subfruit function. If I delete this line, okay, and here I am inside the subfruit function, that is the function of the subfruit class, and here I call the protected function of the parent class. As I said earlier that the child class have access the protected and the public methods of the parent class. So here I am inside the subclass subfruit function. I can access the protected methods of my parent class, that is fruit, and the protected method of the parent class is fruit pro func. So it means that I can call here my parent class, that is fruit pro function. Okay, its name is fruit underscore pro underscore func. So here outside the class, if I create the object that already created the object of the subfruit, and through that object I can call the public method of my same class function, that is subfruit function. So here I call this function, and inside this function I call the my parent class protected method. So if I save the file and go to the browser and refresh the link, then you will see that the output is I am the protected function of the fruit class. So from the subclass we access the parent class protected function. So this is the concept of protected access modifiers. So here if I call the public function of the parent class instead of the protected function, here save the file and refresh the link, you will see that it also call the public function of the parent class, that is I am the public function of the parent class. So if I call the private function of the parent class from the subclass, here you will see that it shows me the error. So we can only access the public and protected methods or function of the parent class from the subclass. If I save the file, go to the browser, refresh the link, then it shows me the fatal error. So we cannot call the private method from the subclass of the parent class. Okay, so hope you will understand. That is the concept of inheritance. To understand about the method overriding in PHP through this example, so let's delete all other functions in the parent class. Okay, now the parent class would have only one public function, and similar for the subclass, here I echo something meaningful. Okay, subclass function, and here I call. Okay, so for example, we have a parent class that is fruit, and the parent class have a method that is fruit pub function. Okay, that name is this one, and similar name I copy this one for the subclass. It means that now we have the subclass, okay, that is subfruit of the fruit class, and it have the similar function name. Okay, and inside this function I echo the I am the public function of the here something meaningful sub fruit class. Okay, sub underscore fruit class. So let's understand this example. We have two classes, that is fruit and the subfruit. Subfruit is the child class of fruit, and inside the fruit class we have a method that name is fruit underscore pub underscore func. Okay, and we have a in similar function with the similar name inside the subfruit class. So here I create in the object of the subfruit and name the object is sub underscore fruit underscore object. Similarly, I create the object of the parent class and its name is fruit underscore object, and that is class is fruit. Okay, so here through the parent class object, if I call the fruit, this one, okay, its parent class public function, and after that I similarly copy these line and okay, here I again through the subfruit object I call its on fruits pub function. Okay, so here I created the two different objects. The first object is the subclass object and the other is fruit object. Okay, fruit class object. So if I call from the fruit class object the method name, that is its public method fruit pub function, then it will call the parent class full this function. Okay, so after that I I call the subclass similar function, that is fruit pub function. Okay, the concept is method overriding. The same parent and child class have the same method name with the same number of parameters. Okay, the method parameters, basically here there is zero parameters, okay, or no parameters of this method. So from the subclass object, if I call the method that is fruit pub function, then it will call its own subclass function, not the parent class function. Okay, so this concept is called method overriding. If I save the file, go to the browser, then you will see that first this will show and after that the this message will show. Refresh the link, then you will see that I am the public function of fruit class. First it printed and after that I am public function of subclass message is showing. So hope you will understand. We will see about what is the final keyword in object oriented programming in PHP. Okay, so the final keyword is used to prevent the class from inheritance or to prevent the methods from the method overriding. So here, for example, if I write the final keyword before the function, okay, here, so it means that now this function should not be override, okay, for the subclass inside the subclass. So if I save the file, now go to the browser and refresh the, you will see that it shows me the error, cannot override final method. So basically we override the same function in subclass as you see earlier. So therefore if I write the final keyword before the okay public function, then it shows me the error. So basically the final keyword protect the methods from overriding. Okay, so here I delete the final keyword and before the class name I write the final. Okay, so now it means that this class, that is fruit, should not be inherited. So basically we inherit the class that is fruit and create a new class subfruit, and here we define it final, it should not be inherited. Okay, so if I save the file and go to the browser and refresh the link, you will see that it shows me the fatal error that class subfruit may not inherit from the final class. So basically we define the parent class that is fruit as a final, so now it assumed that it should not be inherited. So this is the concept of final keyword. Hope you will understand. We talk about the class constants. Constants cannot be changed once it is declared. Class constants can be useful if you need to define some constant data within a class. A class constant is declared inside a class with the const keyword. Class constants are case sensitive. However, it is recommended to name the constant in all uppercase letter. Sorry. We can access a constant from outside the class by using the class name followed by the scope resolution operator, that is double colon, followed by the constant name. For example, we have a class that name is goodboy, and inside the class body we define a constant with the const keyword. The constant name is leaving underscore message and the value of the constant is thank you for visiting w3schools.com. Okay, outside the class body we can echo this constant value with the class name, that is goodbye, followed by the scope resolutional operator, that is double colon, and then the constant name, that is leaving message. So the output of this program is thank you for visiting W3 school. as the living underscore message constant contain the value of this one. So hope you will understand. So we can access a constant from inside the class by using the self keyword, followed by the scope resolution operator and the followed by the constant name. So if you want to access the constant name inside the class, then we follow the self keyword. For example, this is the class goodbye and we define the constant leaving message and name the value to thank you for visiting w3school.com. And inside the class there is a public function that name is bye bye, and inside this one we echo the constant value with the self, the scope resolution operator, and then the constant name. And outside the class we just define the object of our class, and then we through the object of the class we call the method that is bye bye. So hope you will understand. So now we will talking about the most important topic in object oriented programming, that is the abstract class and its methods with conceptual wise. An abstract class and methods are when the parent class has a name method but needs its child classes to fill out the task. So in abstract class, we just declare the method inside the abstract class and define the method in its child class. An abstract class is a class that contains at least one abstract method. An abstract method is a method that is declared but not implemented in the code. An abstract class or method is defined with the abstract keyword. In this example, we just declare a class that is parent class as an abstract class with the abstract keyword, and inside this class that is parent class we have two methods. Okay, the two method is abstract. The first method is sum method 1. We not define here the method, we just declare its structure. That sum method 1, that is an abstract method, has no parameters, and we define the other method that is sum method 2 with the two parameter, and the method is also abstract. So we cannot define the method here in abstract class. So for example, if I define the sum method 1 here, the program shows me the error. So the abstract method cannot be defined in the abstract class. So here if I save the file, go to the browser and call that simple class.php file. Here you see that it shows me the fatal error that abstract function parent class some method cannot contain body in the abstract class. So hope you will understand. So here I remove the body of the some method 1 method. When a child class is inherited from an abstract class, we have the following rules. The child class method must be defined with the same name and it redeclares the parent abstract method. The child class method must be defined with the same or less restricted access modifiers. The number of required arguments must be same as you define in the structure in abstract class. However, the child class may have optional argument in addition. Here, I define the child class with the class keyword and the class name, that is child underscore class, and this is the child class of the parent class, that is parent class. Okay, so to make it child of the parent class, I write the keyword that is extends and the parent class name, that is parent class, and inside the body of the child class I define the first abstract method, that is sum method 1. So the function is public, then the function and the method name, that is sum method 1 here with 0 parameter, as I define its structure with the 0 parameter. Okay, and the function body, and inside the function body I echo something meaningful, that is this is sum method 1 function. If I create the object of child class, then to that object we can call this method, and inside this method you will see that anything we want to execute inside this method will be executed. So the concept of abstract class is very simple, where you need to declare a method but not define it to, or define it later in the child class. then the best example of this is abstract class. Okay, so here outside the class body I create the object. The object name is child underscore object, for example, with the new keyword, and the class name, that is child class. So here the object of the child class is created. Now we can call through that object, that is child object, the method name, that is some method one. Okay, so if I save the file and refresh that link, you will see that here is an error. It shows me the error. Basically, in our abstract class we have two methods. We just define the one method in the child class, but we not define the other method in, that is some method too. So here there is need to define the another method as well in the child class. So here this is my child class. I copy all these line and paste here for my easiness, and the second method name is child method some method 2, and where the sum method 2 has two parameters. So here I must define the parameter. The first parameter is name and the second parameter is color. Okay, and inside this one I just something meaningful I call this is the method 2 function with the, and I show the value. For example, the first value is name. Okay, in the next line, and the other parameter value, that is color. Okay, and through that object here I call this method, and the method name is some method 2, and it has two parameters. So I pass the first parameter as a Nasir soft to rename, and the color is, for example, green. Okay, as in I pass the Nasir soft as a first parameter, name is Nasir soft, and the color is green. So if I save the file, go to the browser and refresh the link, you will see that now the program works successfully, and this is the sum method 1 function is executed first, and inside the second method the output is this is sum method 2 function, and then the values, that is Nasir soft and green. The concept of abstract class. You just define the structure of the method inside the abstract class, and in the child class you must be defined that methods. So hope you will understand. Let's move to the next topic. In PHP, PHP only supports single inheritance. Single inheritance means that a child class can inherit only from one single parent. The multiple inheritance is not possible in PHP. It means that in PHP, a child class cannot be inherited from more than one parent class. So, to solve this problem, traits are used. So, traits are used to declare methods that can be used in multiple classes. Traits can have methods and abstract methods that can be used in multiple classes, and the methods can have any access modifiers, that is public, private, or protected. Traits are declared with the trait keyword. So for example, we can define the trait with the trait keyword and after that the trait name. So here we define a one trait, that is trait name. And this is my class. Okay, the class name is my class, and inside its body I use that trait. It means that inside this trait any code here, for example, we define some methods and so on, so we can use these methods or these all codes just using the use keyword and then the trait name. So here inside the class we have access the trait name all code. So to understand this example, you can know about the trait in more detail. So for example, here I define the two trait. The first trait is body, and inside the body we have one function, that is public, and the function name or method name is msg1. Okay, inside the method body, sorry, we echo the oop is fun. Okay, and we define another trait and its name is message2, and the trait 2 message2 have one method, that is msg2. Inside this one we echo the oop reduce code duplication. Okay, we also define a class. The class name is welcome. It uses the first trait, that is message1. It means that when we create an object of the class welcome, we can access it the trait method as well through that object of the class, that is msg1. So here we define another class, its name is welcome to, and the second class, that is welcome to, use the both traits, the first trait message 1 and the second message 2. It means that when we create the object of this class, that is welcome to, we can access the both method of trait 1, that is msg1, and trait 2 method, that is msg2 method. So here we create an object of welcome, and through this object we can access the welcome basically the welcome class use the message one trait, so we can access the message one all code. Inside the message one, the method is msg1, so we can access through the object of the class through this method, that is msg1. Similarly, we define an object of the welcome to class. Here, the object name is object2, and through that object, we can access the both method of the traits. So basically, the welcome to use the both traits, that is message1 and message2. So hope you will understand. If you know in more detail about the trait, for this you need to visit my another video that is all about the traits, its working. So this video is also mentioned in the video description, and it is also showing in the video suggestion. Static methods. Static methods can be called directly without creating an instance of a class. Static method can be declared with the static keyword. We have a class that name is class name, and inside the class we have a method, and the method is static with the static keyword. Okay, so it defined that method is static, and the method name is static method, and inside the method body we just echo the meaningful message, that is hello world. So to access a static method, use the class name, double colon, and the method name. So for example, offside of the class, we can call this static method directly without creating the object of the class. For example, if we want to call this static method, then there is class name, then the colon sign, double colon sign, okay, that is scope resolution operator, and then the static method name. We have a class greeting, and inside this class we have a static method that name is welcome, and inside this one we echo hello world. So to call this static method in this example, we just write the class name, that is greeting, followed by the double colon sign, that is scope resolution operator, and then the method name, that is welcome. So to call the static method, we do not need to create the object of the class. You can know more about the static method by visiting this link. What are the static properties? Static properties can be called directly without creating an instance of a class, just like the static method. Static properties can be declared with the static keyword. So to know about the static properties, let's understand this example. We have a class that name is class name, and inside this one we have a property that is static. The property name is static prop, and the value is W3 schools. So we can, to access a static property, use the class name, similar as the static method, double colon, and then the property name. For example, in this scenario, the class name, the double colon, and the static prop, that is the static property. So to know more about the static properties, let's consider or understand this example. We have a class that is name is pi, and inside the class we have a static property and its value is 3.14159. We have a class x that extends from the pi. It means that x is the child class of the pi. Inside this class, we have a method and its name is xStatic. Inside this method, we can access the parent class property by just writing the keyword that is parent and the double colon and the value. It means that return me the parent class static property value. Okay, so outside the class, now x is the child class, so x can access the pi class static value. So here we directly echo the x, that is class name, the double colon, and the property value of the parent class. Or if we call the class x method, then we need to create an object of the class. That object is x. It is the object of the x class, and through this object we can access the method of this function, this class, that is x static. And inside this function, we can also use from this method the parent class static property. So hope you will understand. So that's all from this lecture. In this lecture, we understand the basics of object-oriented programming in PHP. If you have any questions regarding to these topics, you can email me. Email is mentioned in video description, or you can write your question inside the video comment section. These all are the references. You can know in more details about this topic by visiting these links or related sites. Don't forget to subscribe my channel for more informative videos. Stay blessed, have a nice day, and be ready for the next video of this tutorial series.